I've overseen almost $1 billion in real estate sales over the last 10 years, personally selling over 360 million of that myself. And today I'm going to give you my honest pros and cons of getting into real estate as a woman in 2026. And at the end, I'll tell you exactly where I land. Pro number 1, there is no ceiling on what you can earn. Now start here, because this is the thing that most careers cannot offer you. In almost every job you'll ever take, someone else decides what you're worth. There's a salary band, an annual review, a manager somewhere above you who decides whether you get a 3% or a 5% raise. You can outperform everyone around you and still hit a number that someone else set. Commission math doesn't work that way. What you earn is a direct function of how many people you help and how well you help them. Nobody caps it. Nobody approves it. I've had years where my income increased by multiple 6 figures because I got better at my job and there was no committee deciding whether I deserved it or not. Now that is genuinely unusual in a working life. And for a lot of women, it's the first time they've ever experienced it. Now, con number 1, there is also no floor. This cuts the other way too, so let's be very direct about that. There's no salary in this job, no health insurance, no paid time off, no paycheck arriving on the 1st and the 15th, whether you sold something or not. You are fully commission-based. And in the business, that means real months where you work hard and earn nothing. Not slow months, nothing months. And if you don't have a runway saved before you start, 6 months minimum, or another income in a household while you build, that financial pressure will end your career before you ever find out whether you're even good at it or not. I've watched that happen to women who have everything else it takes. They just didn't have the buffer, and the math caught up with them quick. So if you need predictable income right now, this is not the right year to start. That's not a knock, just the reality of this business model. All right, pro number 2. You're building something that belongs to you. Every client relationship you build, every referral that comes back to you, every piece of reputation you earn in your market belongs to you. You can't get laid off from your own book of business. Nobody acquires your company and restructures you out of a job. 10 years in, you own an asset. The agents that I know who are genuinely secure aren't secure because they had a great year. They're secure because they spent years building something that keeps producing. Past clients who send their kids to you, a name in a market that means something, a referral network that works whether you're actively chasing leads that week or not. That's an entirely different kind of financial position than a title at a company that someone else controls. Now, con number 2 on that, the competition is real and the barrier to entry cuts both ways. The door into this business is wide open, which is part of the appeal. A few courses, an exam, a few $100, no degree, no connections, no permission from anyone needed. The problem is that same low barrier of entry that let you in also let everyone else in too. Your market is full of agents, many of whom have been there for 10 or 15 years and know every homeowner on almost every street. So when you're new, you're competing against that institutional memory from a standing start. The agents who make it through this aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who picked a lane early, committed to it, maybe a specific area, a specific type of buyer, a specific niche, and became the obvious person for that thing. The ones who tried to be everything to everyone stayed invisible. You can't afford to be invisible when you're starting from zero. Pro number 3, this industry builds wealth, and you are already standing inside it. Real estate has made more ordinary people wealthy than almost any other asset class, and you get to see the deals, understand the numbers, and know what things are actually worth as part of your job every single day. Most investors pay a fortune to learn what you're gonna pick up for free inside just your first 2 years. You'll know what a property rents for, what it costs to fix, what the market is doing before the data catches up. You're gonna see opportunities that people paying for seminars are still waiting to hear about. Every agent I know who ended up truly secure financially started putting commissions into things that pay them back. Property they own that generates rent, revenue share from an organization, or investment accounts that they built, referrals to agents in other markets that pay them without touching the transaction. That knowledge advantage is sitting there available to you. The agents who use it end up somewhere completely different than the ones who just continue to cash the checks. Now, con number 3, this job is nothing like what it looks like on television. Literally nothing. The real version is calls, follow-up, paperwork, and a lot of unglamorous work that nobody ever sees. There are no cameras following you through a beautifully staged home at your own pace. There are clients who call you at 9 p.m. on a Sunday because something came up. There are deals that fall apart the week they're supposed to close. There are inspections you have to manage and appraisals that come in low and lenders who go quiet for 3 days or a week. It's also 24/7 in a way that most people genuinely do not anticipate. Clients want you specifically, not just your voicemail. Deals don't pause because you're on vacation. The agents who burn out easy are almost always the ones who are blindsided by how consuming it is before the business is established enough to support any kind of boundary around it. Day one is hard. That's not a caveat, that's the job. Now, pro number 4. The business rewards exactly what women are already good at. Real estate runs on trust, on listening carefully enough to hear what somebody actually needs, which is often different from what they said. It runs on relationships that last long enough that a client you helped buy their first home calls you a decade later when they're ready to sell it. The agents who win consistently ask better questions than everyone else and actually listen to hear the answers instead of listening to respond to that client. Being underestimated walking into a room is a real advantage when you've done the homework and have the data to back it up. Clients are more sophisticated and more savvy now than they have ever been. They can tell within a few minutes who knows their market and who's just performing. Women have been told for years that real estate is a relationship business, as if that's a small thing. Girl, it's the whole thing. The agents who are still in this business 20 years later got there because people trusted them, referred them, and came back to them. Relationships are the job. Now, con number 4. The first year will ask a lot of you before it gives anything back. The income is uneven, the rejection is constant. You'll work weeks that feel super productive but produce nothing. You'll get close on deals that fall apart. You'll call people who don't call back. You'll take it personally and may want to shut it down when you get rejected for the 37th time. And unlike a salary job where the paycheck still arrives, every one of those weeks costs you time and costs you money that you probably haven't earned yet. Most people who wash out of this business do not leave because they weren't good enough. They leave because the early stretch was way harder than they expected, and they did not have the support or the runway to outlast it. That is worth knowing before you start. So before I give you my answer, this is exactly what we work through inside the Warrior Agent and in our school community. If you're a woman who's already in and grinding through the hard part, or you're weighing whether or not to start, that's who I built this for. Coaching and business education for women who want to sell more and build a real life while they do it. The link is in the description. My honest answer. After talking to hundreds of agents over the years, I've noticed that the thing that predicts who makes it has almost nothing to do with talent or timing or who they knew going in. It's language. The ones who make it say things like, I will do this, and I'm committed to figuring this out. The ones who don't say, I'm gonna try this out, I'm gonna see what happens. Listen to how you're talking about it right now in your own head, because that is the tell. The market being up or down matters far less than what people think. Good agents get built in slow markets. When it's hard, most of the competition stops working, and the relationships you build in the quiet stretch pay you for years once things turn. So if you're waiting for a better time to start, there isn't one, and there never was. So my honest answer, if you're going to try real estate to see how it goes, save your money, save your time. The business will be brutally efficient about showing you that you're not committed, and it's gonna cost you. But if you've watched both sides of this, and you're still leaning toward yes, you still have that mentality of this is going to work for me, I am committed to making this work, then 2026 is as good a year as any, and I'd tell you to get in the ring and start taking swings. So if you're leaning in, the next video to watch is my honest advice for women already in real estate, where I get into the specific things I wish someone had handed me early. Not the generic stuff, the things that actually move the needle. Go watch that one, and I'll see you over there.